Hi, this is The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi, and today I'm very excited because we have a beauty specialist with us today, and she is amazing. Her name is Katrina Fahey, and before we begin, I just want to give a quick shout out to dmaworld.com. They are a marketing consultant agency, and what they do believe in is that they want to help the little businesses grow to become big businesses, but they don't want to see them get scammed by these big marketing companies that take away their money and they don't get any results. So check out dmaworld.com where they fight for the young and the little businesses and they want to make them grow. So check them out. They have a lot to offer. And to get back to our very special guest, Katrina Fahey, I am so excited to have you on the show. We had a conversation before the show, and you are truly amazing, and the knowledge you have is outstanding. So why don't you tell everybody a little about yourself and what you do? Because it's truly amazing.
Hi, Stacey. Thank you. I'm really grateful to be in this conversation with you today. As we're just talking about, there's a lot of misconceptions out there for people right now about how do the facial mechanics work? I mean, what creates a beautiful face? And we have this cliche that circulates that beauty is only skin deep, as though it's superficial and it's just about what's on the surface level.
Yeah.
And so our booming beauty industry is raking in millions every year with Botox and fillers and
Yeah.
facelifts. And it's all about skin and it's all about teeth with Invisalign and braces. But it all really misses the point, because the thing that accentuates a face, and a
Yeah.
great example is a supermodel's face, celebrated for beauty. They have big, high cheekbones and prominent eyes, big, broad smiles with spaced evenly teeth that scaffold the lips and pout them out nicely. And the bone structure that they've developed throughout their life is the thing we're celebrating them for, and it enhances every feature of the face. I unfortunately had to learn this the really hard way, because back in 2016, my facial structure actually collapsed inward.
Oh, wow.
And I had really bad dentistry that skewed the bite to the point where one cheekbone had sunk in.
Oh, wow.
My eyes had asymmetry. It threw the jawline off. So it's
Wow.
quite devastating at the time. And because back then orthotropics and myofunctional therapy were on the extremities of health and beauty, I didn't know about them. The
Yes.
main message from orthodontists was, well, there's not much we can do about it. Like, you had slightly crooked teeth and that's a genetic thing. Faces are 100% governed by genetics, which is not true. There's no
Right.
evidence to support that faces, their form, are 100% genetic.
Yeah.
What we're seeing is that the human craniofacial size has consistently reduced in size.
Yeah.
Since agriculture was introduced and we started really relying on wheat and doughy foods to get
Yeah.
these large settlements of people fed in a one geographic location where they're
Yeah.
not hunting and gathering and migrating with the food source. It's like,
Right.
okay, let's just pump out lots of bread, and
Yeah.
then it turns into pasta, etc. But in the last century, the last 100 years, what we've done to food with this ultra processing of food, we're no longer giving the face the exercise through long sustained hard chewing.
Yes.
And this, what works the facial bones, is this mechanical input by breaking down food. Before, we had graters, juicers, blenders, microwaves. All of the food processing was happening with the face,
Yeah.
and the human jaws are meant to be grinding down food.
Right.
So I had to learn a lot about how our faces work in order to actually grow back my face into alignment.
Yeah.
And I learned about orthotropic orthodontics, where we can
Right.
stimulate the jaws to grow larger.
Right.
So to help people understand, back to the supermodels, they've got a very prominent midface.
Yes.
And the midface is one structure. It's called the maxilla bone. And we
Okay.
call this the beauty bone. The beauty bone is here. Got a little example for you. It's the, yeah, hello, maxilla. It's
Love
essentially
it.
the cheekbone runs to the base of the eye socket, the top dentition. It contains the nasal passage. It has the roof of the mouth, and of course the cheek and eye socket on the other side.
Right.
Humans are meant to develop this to its full genetic size. And when this
Yeah.
occurs, all of the teeth have room to come in straight.
Right.
This is why we're seeing crooked teeth, is people don't have the environment and lifestyle to grow their upper jaw to full size, so it houses all of the teeth in a straight row. But unfortunately, the dental community's been saying, oh, well, you better need braces because you've inherited dad's big teeth that don't fit inside mum's small jaw. And this is
Mm-hmm.
why you have crooked teeth.
Right.
There is no evidence there's a gene for crooked teeth. It's
Yeah.
just someone made it up and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we now know, looking at the evidence has been there for a few decades now. And you
Yeah.
trawl through scientific journals and you learn about how do we grow the facial bones.
Yes.
It's a chewy diet. It's a
Yeah.
chewy diet. It's using the orofacial muscles well. So when these muscles for chewing and masticating are firm and the tongue places well inside the skull,
Yeah.
then this is pushed out and broad. And you get that more oval shape, or the model's high cheekbones. I believe many people out there have this huge potential for natural beauty, but they just haven't realized it because something's gone wrong developmentally from childhood.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll give you another really clear example aside from how we process everything and make it soft and liquefied. When we
Yeah.
rear children, we're giving them pacifiers all day long.
Yes.
Having the pacifier in the mouth takes the tongue from its natural resting position, which is suctioned on the roof of the mouth,
Right.
where it's this natural internal pressure inside the skull that pushes the bones out and holds the top dentition broad and the roof of the mouth broad. When you've got a thumb or a pacifier there all day long, the tongue has to sit below that. So you don't have this internal counter pressure to the outside muscles in the form of the tongue. It's
Yeah.
not there. So it actually lets the face sink in. And we get a narrow airway and we get a lot of facial flaws. The
Wow.
eyes narrow in because the eye sockets have sunk. The teeth collapse in. The nose either gets looked too up and short because the cavity inside is up and vaulted, or
Oh.
we get a bent septum. The
Yeah.
septum, because everything's squishing into the middle, we get that hooked effect with a bump here and
Yes.
a pull down on the cartilage because the bones aren't coming forward to push everything out and help them stay up.
Wow.
This has been the missing link for people, but they don't know where to turn. They've gone to a plastic surgeon and they say, I think I need a septoplasty. I don't breathe very well. I've
Yeah.
got, I don't like the hump on my nose now. Can we do something about that? They come out. I speak to so many people. They come out afterwards. They say, oh, I've had a septoplasty, but it didn't really fix the airflow. I still don't breathe well
Yeah.
because they're still really high and vaulted inside under the nose. That cavity is tiny. It's not until we can use orthotropics with
Yeah.
this oral device worn in the mouth that gradually widens and stimulates the roof of the mouth to open and push this midface out. The roof of the mouth is the floor of the nasal cavity. The
Mm-hmm.
palatine bones make up 70% of the nasal cavity. So
Right.
we want this to come out like that if we want to breathe well.
Wow. I've known so many people that have had deviated septum and they've gotten the surgery and they ended up getting their breathing became worse after the surgery. And doctors had told them, oh, you're going to breathe better, blah, 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 blah. Your snoring will stop and this and that. It'll open your passageway. Your breathing will be so much better. And I would probably say like 99% of the people that I spoke to that had that procedure done all said to me that their breathing was worse after the procedure was done.
Oh my gosh, those poor people. And this just reduces quality of life so significantly because when we don't breathe well, we don't sleep well.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with daily stress and fatigue. It's very, very hard to make healthy lifestyle choices when you're feeling depleted all the time.
Yeah.
Some people can't feel refreshed after a night's sleep because they have a really small nasal cavity and they have a very small oral cavity.
Yeah.
And these are the traits that we subconsciously haven't liked in the human face. It's the attractive face with the big maxilla has a big nasal cavity and a
Yeah.
larger oral cavity. These are
Right.
healthy traits. It's the reason why anything innately beautiful is that way to us because it has health benefits.
Right, right.
And we've been masking our flaws with plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So we've believed anyone with like a too square jaw or a too weak jaw that's merging with the neckline, they go and get orthodontic surgery that cuts their jaw and
Yeah.
pins it into a new position, matches up with their maxilla, the top jaw better.
Right.
And yeah, their profile improves and they probably would be happy about that. But by understanding, if they did understand that any discrepancy between the jaws creating
Yeah.
that problem, it's actually this area was too narrow. The maxilla didn't grow. So this has this problem of how do I meet with the top jaw? It's
Yeah.
either jutting out too far or it's tucking in behind and
Yeah.
having this vertical growth pattern. So when we cut the mandibles, though it's the mandible's fault for the
Yeah.
aesthetic issue, yes, you've made the person look a bit better, but you've left this diminished and their airway is diminished. So that
Yeah.
person's going to probably have sleep apnea, if not now, later on, when
Yeah.
everything just stinks as we age.
Yeah.
We're leaving people sick with plastic surgery. It's just camouflaging an issue with
Right.
airways. Yeah.
So what does a person do? So how does a person, like, what would be the first step to being able to, have better health, have better bone structure, have better breathing? What if a person really wants to enhance their beauty and improve their overall health? What would be the first thing that you would suggest to somebody?
Absolutely. The first thing I would suggest is looking up a functional orthodontist. Anyone who goes by a philosophy of orthotropics.
Yeah.
So tropic means growth.
Mm. I didn't know. I didn't know
And
they had a
ortho,
function.
of course, is
Yeah.
like the oral cavities. So yeah. So orthotropics is this emerging field of orthodontics that's helping the face grow to its genetic maximum so that, yes, the teeth will align better, but everything on the face aligns well when our bone structure is large. The
Yeah.
eye sockets are pushed forward and out. As I said, the lips improve, the cheeks become prominent. Some people only have a minor flattening or weakness that maybe myofunctional therapy can
Yeah.
work wonders with if they find a good myofunctional therapist, and that corrects their mouth breathing. A lot of people, because they're narrow here, as I said, they have to open their lips and breathe, compensate with oral breathing. But by doing that, the tongue has to drop off the roof of the mouth into the lower jaw so the air passes down the throat. As soon as we have our tongue in the lower jaw all day, we're now robbing the midface of that internal pressure that kept it open and large, that
Yeah.
gave us the better looks and gave us the open airway. So correcting that with a myofunctional therapist could be enough for some children and adults, but some people are so high and vaulted in their nasal cavity that they're going to need a device from an orthotropics orthodontist that's going to gradually widen that area, stimulate new bone and flatten it and lower the roof of the mouth. And everything just opens up beautifully on the face. I would love people to see my before and after photos
Yeah.
because it's amazing what I could achieve remodeling the face without ever stepping foot into a plastic surgeon's office. Because I initially went to surgeons and I said, my face has been really damaged. What can we do? And they said, well, we can shave down the bone on this side and maybe we'll put an implant here. But as I said, I didn't want to do that because it would have stopped me ever in the future being able to correctly align my structure.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
knew putting an implant here and shaving this down is only going to make this smaller. And my face had gotten smaller. And
Yeah.
it wasn't going to fix up my eyes. It probably wasn't going to adjust the lips into better positions. So when I discovered this, it changed my life, not just getting my aesthetic back, but it
Yeah.
probably made me better than I was before the damage because this
Right.
is larger now. The health benefits is unlocked. When I dove into this topic for 7 years, I thought this whole disrupted breathing we're in,
Yeah.
this is doing damage to people. Here's an example. We have skyrocketing ADHD now in children
Right.
because the way we classify it is, ADHD has a genetic component, but we're
Right.
not testing children. We're just looking at symptoms and
Yeah.
saying, this looks like ADHD. because children, when they don't sleep well, because a lot of them are narrow and they're not breathing well, they don't look like adults who are fatigued
Yeah.
and slowing down. They ramp up.
Yeah, they ramp
They're
up.
agitated. They find it really hard to concentrate. They're disruptive. Their mood is irritable. And that's why there's all these fidget toys now in schools, because
Yeah.
kids are finding it hard to concentrate. This is how their brain works when it's starved of oxygen.
Mm.
When I'll just quickly let people know how serious this is. If you're relying on the mouth for breathing, you're only drawing air into the chest. It looks thoracic like this. It's this anxious style of breath.
Yeah.
It's only getting air to the top of the lungs. Our normal way to breathe is only through the nose. And when we do that, it looks like this. The tongue is high in the mouth and we go, and the air travels down deep into the diaphragm, a long,
Yeah.
slow breath, plenty of time to extract that oxygen before a slow exhale releases all the carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And the system continues nicely. When we chest breathe, the body's always trying to get in a bit more air because the
Right.
breaths are too rapid to get carbon dioxide out and enough oxygen in. And
Yeah.
because they've skipped this filtration system, this is a perfect design by nature. We filter the air, we humidify it, but we also have a parasinus on either side that puts nitric oxide in with the air. And this is our body's natural dilator for the circulatory system. So it
Wow.
opens up all of the veins, passing the oxygen around the body where it's needed really efficiently.
Yeah.
If we don't get nitric oxide, you don't get it through the mouth.
Right.
Your veins stay narrow. You have narrow circulatory system. Your heart's already, it's trying really hard to pump whatever oxygen it did get around the body. So
Yeah.
heart rate goes up. When heart rate goes up, respiration rate always follows suit. So the whole body's on this sympathetic stress response, this
Yeah.
stress response from the nervous system, trying to get everything to work well because
Right.
it's starved of oxygen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obstructive sleep apnea is going through the roof. It's actually a really common problem today. People needing CPAP masks at night. This
Yeah.
isn't normal. This
No, it's
isn't normal.
not.
This is people not developing well.
How do you get
So
off those
it's,
masks? You know, like I know so many people that need that mask now to sleep. So many people have
yeah.
sleep apnea, like, it's like it's common now. It's not even like, it's not even something that you hear once in a blue moon. You hear so many people talking about either insomnia or they're talking about sleep apnea, and it's like it's become the thing. It's become the new norm, because so many
Yeah.
people suffer from this.
Yes. Everybody knows someone, a partner or a brother or someone who's sleeping with this mask. And it's, snoring is related to this, but sometimes it happens silently and people don't even know that they have it.
Yeah.
Children have sleep apnea. My children had tongue ties, which
Mm-hmm.
means they weren't breathing well because they were oral breathing. So they were narrow
Oh,
here. The
okay.
tongue couldn't get high and open up the face. And so they've had to have adenoid tonsillectomies and things to help open up the airway. But that's not enough. You've got to open up the floor of the nasal cavity by stimulating the mouth roof to grow. We can do this at any age. We can do it as adults. There's studies showing that people with obstructive sleep apnea can have palate expansion and experience better airflow. And when we open up the roof of the mouth, we're actually making the oral cavity bigger, and the tongue is able to reposition high in the mouth, moving away from the lower oral cavity.
Yeah.
What's happening for people is they're narrow here, they're mouth breathing, they're narrow in the mouth, the tongue doesn't have enough room, so it's pushed back into the throat, and they go, and they're gasping for air, and it sounds
Yeah.
like snoring. Yeah. They're having an apneic episode, so they're starved of oxygen, and they cannot thrive this way.
No.
You cannot thrive like that.
And then you see the puffy eyes start to develop, and you can see the fatigueness in their face because they're not getting that oxygen they need.
That's right. And plenty of people out there have had tooth extractions because back in the day, it was crooked teeth are genetic. We'll pull some teeth out and put braces on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they took a diminished face and they made it smaller
Yeah.
because they took people's teeth out.
Right. It was very common to do that.
Yeah.
I was
Because they
very
thought, oh, you've got extra teeth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say it's surprising because in if you didn't mention it, I would think, oh, your bone structure has developed, unless you're doing like, cosmetic, you don't have the opportunity to restructure and widen your bones. But it's pretty amazing that you bring that up, So
Yeah.
any age can
Yeah.
actually naturally restructure their bone structure and have better breathing quality and have better overall health because you're breathing, you need oxygen to live. You need a good significant oxygen amount of oxygen to function, your focus, your clarity, everything, like we talked about
Mm.
ADHD. It affects everything, mind, body, and soul. Everything is affected by the way we breathe and the amount of oxygen our body intakes on a daily basis.
Yes. It's the one thing we can't do more than a couple of minutes without. It's oxygen. It's so
Yeah,
vital to how we live our life. And it just permeates everything we do, how sociable we are, how much athletic stamina we have, how
right.
easily we can concentrate. We need oxygen to
Yeah,
perform well. And people suffer in silence. They don't realize they actually can't breathe properly. And
right.
it shows on their faces. We have narrow faces now. We
Yeah,
need to have a large mid face. And it's the reason we like that trait in supermodels and attractive people. They've got a large mid face. Those people are healthy. They're
yeah,
able to thrive.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
It's something we need to get out into the mainstream so people realize what their options are. A lot
yeah,
of people turn to plastic surgery because they're getting like droopy skin and nasolabial folds, even in their 20s.
yeah,
I've got thin lips or all of the things, and they're going and plumping up their skin, thinking the skin is the aging problem. It's the bones haven't grown large enough.
yeah,
And diet's so soft that we're not chewing hard enough foods to develop the facial structure. If you had strong bones underneath, your skin would just smooth out, you know?
wow,
We wouldn't have
yeah.
20-year-olds trying to plump up cheeks to remove this or like hold the lips out because they'd have broad dentition.
So really, we have to really focus too on our eating habits. There's probably certain foods that are healthier and better for our body,
Yep,
not just, for other things, but in our bone structure as well to enhance our bone structure so we can have better oxygen and we can have, overcome maybe, different illnesses better, prevent chronic illness and so forth.
absolutely. That's right. I've tried to get my son, and he loves it now. We have this shop called Biltong Boss. So
Hmm.
eating biltong, it's a dehydrated meat and it's savory and salty, and he loves it. I pop it in his lunchbox. It's the best workout for the face to
Yeah,
develop his jaws. Developing his jaws is going to develop his airways. It's the
right.
same structure. Um, Years ago, before I really cottoned on to how much of an effect diet had on our growth, I
Yeah,
used to give my kids green smoothies every single day because I wanted them to have nutrients and they didn't want to eat whole food vegetables.
yeah,
And so, I mean, they still do have green smoothies, but I'm not relying on that all the time because
exactly.
I'm robbing them of the ability to chew.
Yeah,
So I can't have them getting their meal and nutrients through a straw all the time
exactly.
because it's only meeting half of their needs.
Right.
Nutrition, yes. Development of the face and airways, no.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
It's if people don't realize that diet really has it's very vital, and even me, I had like a locked jaw. I would always click and click and click. And when I changed my diet, that locked jaw just simply just went away. It was just, changing my diet and moving my jaw around and giving it some exercise. It just, it stopped. I would have the click, 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 and sometimes it would get a little locked that I could unlock it, but I'd have to put pressure on it. But then just by changing my diet and doing a little jaw exercises, it
Yeah.
stopped.
That's fascinating. I just, looking at you, I wouldn't have known that you had jaw symptoms. But so many people today say, oh, I have TMJ problems. There's
Yeah.
something about the clicking of the jaw or the jaw slipping out, it's creating pain.
Yeah.
And this is all related that we're having nut butter, not whole nuts.
Yeah.
We're having our vegetables in a dip or a
Yeah.
smoothie or mashed. There
Yeah.
seems to be nothing. Our culture is all about soft foods, melt in the mouth,
Right.
or up and go, have it on the go, have something
Yeah.
liquefied. Really just have to go back to whole foods,
You do.
whole nuts, whole vegetables and fruits, or dehydrated fruits is a
Yeah.
great snack for kids,
Right.
because again, it gets hard.
Yeah.
And I'll keep harping on about biltong and beef jerky because our ancestors didn't have refrigerators. They
Yes.
never cooled meat to preserve it. And
Yes.
when we do that, it just makes everything soft. They
Yeah.
had to dehydrate their meat by
Right.
salting and peppering and drying it out to get the moisture out of the food.
Right.
So dry it out over a flame or in the sun. And that lasted, it preserved their meat surplus for months.
Yeah.
And it was the best workout for their face. And if anyone wants a really good live example of this, Central Africans, Nigerians and Tanzanians, they don't have kitchen gadgets that whip and make everything soft. They don't have fridges.
Yeah.
So they have to dehydrate all the meat that they eat.
Right.
And in those places, you don't see anyone with a sunken mid face. Big maxilla, big broad smiles,
Yeah.
faces that match up perfectly, clear airways. So we need to, I mean, I don't expect people to get rid of their fridge. It's a great convenience. But the household fridge did make us rely a lot on dairy products and
Those are
heavily
some of the things
processed
that are
meat.
worse for you. Those are the worst things for your body.
Yeah, we shouldn't be having so much dairy. I mean, I love milk in my coffee and things,
Yeah.
but we're eating a lot of dairy, which wouldn't have been the case before. We're eating a lot of processed meat, which we know the processed meat's no good.
Right.
Yeah. So there's so many things we could dive into and how this is affecting, or
Yeah.
how we got here, but also what are the health implications of this being narrow and not sleeping well and
Yeah.
not breathing well.
And
Yeah, it's a big
I
problem.
it is a big problem. And today's society, people resort to surgery right away. And insurance is in the United States, there are a lot of things are covered. If you have certain conditions, you could say it's under a condition and the surgery will be covered. And so people are resorting to the quick fix rather than focusing on the natural way, which is the better way. And people don't realize too is once you get cut open and the oxygen from the outside goes inside your body, it changes the whole chemistry of your insides, and then your body changes, and it actually can worsen your health and cause more problems in the long run. And with cosmetic surgery, it makes me angry because our society has made it, you see so many celebrities, showing their cosmetic surgery and boasting
Mm,
about it. And it's the new thing in our trendy
yeah.
society. But if you look at a lot of celebrities, the before and after pictures, how they look before and how they look now, so many look alienated. Their faces are all pushed back, their eyes are withdrawn and narrow. They don't even look like humans anymore, a lot of them. And or they talk and that you can't even see their jaw moving, you don't even see their lips moving because they've gotten pulled back so many times. And there's been so many
Yeah.
mistakes. Doctors have made a lot of mistakes, they don't talk about it, but and you see some celebrities, and I'm not going to name them on the show, but there are some celebrities that were beautiful in the 80s and 90s and early 2000, and they went and they got the surgeries done, and you see them now. And there was one picture of a celebrity, she came on one of the talk shows, and I didn't even recognize her because the surgery changed her so much, and she didn't look attractive anymore, and she was a beautiful celebrity. And I'm just like, but you see this all the time, and you see these reality shows and these girls getting plastic surgery done, and instead of enhancing their beauty or making them look younger, a lot of them look older, or they look alien like.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's also it's damaging their health because we all go back to the oxygen thing, and we're not moving. You talk about moving the jaw to make it your healthy bone structure. Imagine getting those facelifts and not even being able to, it doesn't even look like your mouth is moving when you talk because you're so pulled back. I can only imagine what it does to the body.
Oh, absolutely. And everything's frozen and there's no more expression. And it's never giving the convincing results that people are hoping for.
Yeah.
What we can do now with developing the bone structure, we can even do this as later adults. This,
Yeah.
in terms of anti-aging, would be the natural result and aesthetic people are wanting to achieve.
Yeah.
Everything sags when the bones wither away as we get older.
Right.
So I think it's the skin. It's not your skin, it's the weak muscles and it's the lack of bone. As we get older, the whole skeleton starts to weaken. It's called
Yes.
osteoporosis. The muscles weaken. It's called sarcopenia. So everything starts to sink structurally, and that's why you're getting eye bags, you're getting jowls. This is shortening. People's
Yeah.
teeth grind down. So there's typically less distance here.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they get that like hooked nose and the
Yes.
prominent chin is the old face? It's because this actually sunk in, and so everything got closer, and then everything sagged. But when we help people develop more bone through chewing harder foods
Mm-hmm.
and you know, don't freeze your muscles, use your facial muscles.
Yeah.
Keep tongue strength. The tongue is always exerting pressure on the roof of the mouth.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to hold this out. Unfortunately, as we get older, the tongue even weakens.
Right.
When the tongue weakens, it's not having that internal support and pressure to the midface, so everything can sink. The
Yeah.
maxilla is usually the first thing to go. And
Right.
that's when the eyes narrow in and the nose looks too big and the chin looks too big because this went.
And you notice that when people become older, their voice starts to soften a lot of people. And it's probably because of the
Mm.
weakness in the tongue muscles. But do you suggest any types of vitamins or supplements that might be useful as you are focusing on healthy foods? Is there anything maybe maybe calcium or collagen or things like
Absolutely.
that?
Calcium and vitamin C is what's going to help us keep stimulating new osteoblasts. So keep the muscles firm, and anything that's going to help your muscles be strong and maintained,
Yes.
do those supplements. It's
Hmm.
about bones, healthy bones.
Right.
So we tell people keep your bones strong as you get older. That's what
Yeah.
you want. If you want to look youthful up here, don't neglect it. Don't just do
Right.
exercise down here. This needs it too. Yeah.
Exactly. Now you wrote a book. Tell me about your books. I want to hear a little about what you're.
I did. This is the book. It's called Beauty is Bone Deep. Learn how we grow a beautiful face.
Oh, I
That's why
love it.
doing so, thank you, sustains health of the body and mind.
Yeah.
If we don't breathe well and we're starved of oxygen, it's inflammation for the body, and
Yeah.
inflammation in the brain manifests as anxiety and depression.
Right.
Inflammation in the body manifests as a pathway to chronic illness.
Yeah.
Um, this is a really important portal and access point for the
Yeah.
rest of the body. We can't neglect it. We need to now take what we know about growing and heal ourselves. And people are going to love the beauty results. They're not going to have to go to a plastic surgeon who's going to cut their face and augment it in some way and mask what the true underlying cause is. Maxillomandible deficiency, when
Yes.
this narrows and sinks, that's creating the nose you don't like, or the flat cheeks you don't like, or the jowls you don't like, or the thin lips. People have to go every like 2 months and plump this up again, you know? And as you
Yeah.
said, it's just not a convincing look, because if you're going to put cheek implants here on a face that doesn't have a strong maxilla, the eyes are going to be too narrow, but then you've got these big
Yes.
cheeks. And
Yes.
so on some level, we're like, it doesn't look natural
No, I
because
call it
those
the
things don't
chipmunk
go
cheeks.
together. Yeah, they don't go together. Everything has to get bigger, and we can
Yeah.
do it naturally. People can naturally become beautiful.
And it seems like a lot of the things that you're talking about, you could actually do from your own home. You don't have to go to a facility or a clinic. A lot of these things can be done in your own home if you
Yep,
understand what your body needs, and if you understand the foods or the exercises or the things that you need to do in order to maintain good bone structure. It could be done home, right?
that's right. If you knew myofunctional therapy exercises, you can now access things like this online for free, or pay a good myofunctional therapist, and they're going to teach you how to use your tongue well, how to
Yeah.
hold it well, how to breathe well. Some people are using compensatory muscles and their swallow looks like this. Have you seen a child who's sort of like,
Yeah.
it's
Uh-huh.
because the tongue, they're a tongue thruster. And so the tongue doesn't make contact up high and pump the palate. And so they've developed compensatory ways to swallow, and they strain on the neck. And
Oh,
we
wow.
need to get rid of these compensations and just breathe and swallow and chew properly. So you
Right.
can do that from the comfort of your own home by learning how to do that. You can eat harder foods, whole nuts. Dehydrated biltong is delicious. I think it's a
Yeah,
more ethical way to eat meat. It doesn't have as many preservatives because it's naturally preserved through drying. Eat
right.
biltong. I hope that takes off rather than this like hot dog hamburger meat. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um, but if you're really narrow, like I was when my face got damaged, you can use a removable appliance if you have a skilled orthodontist in orthotropics.
Okay.
And some they call themselves full face orthodontics, functional orthodontics, or orthopedic dentistry.
Okay.
If you can find someone like that, that might help you get started too.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, where can we find your book?
So it's due to launch in January, but for
Okay.
anyone who wants to get a copy and be the first to hear about the launch, please find me on Instagram. My page is called Growing Healthy Faces.
Okay.
Growing full stop healthy full stop faces. And my name is Katrina Fahey on Instagram too. My website is called healthyface.com.
Oh, I
So
love
if you'd
that.
like to shoot me an email, it's hello@healthyface.com. I would love to hear from anyone who's struggled with sleep difficulties, breathing difficulties, their child isn't developing well because they're having all these problems. I welcome people to get in contact, and then I will shoot them the link for the book, which is due to release very soon in the new year.
Oh, how exciting. And
Yeah.
it's so important too, because so many people are also resorting to sleeping pills to try to get to sleep, and they're using so many unnatural, methods to try to, to get a good night's sleep. And they're not even really hitting REM when they're taking those pills. They're not getting
Yeah.
the good night's sleep they need. And and a lot of those medications are addictive, whether people
Yeah.
realize it or not. Your body becomes addicted to it, and getting off of it is like getting off of heroin in a sense, because you're going to get those withdrawal effects once you start to wean off of those medications, if you ever do, and people
Yeah.
become really addicted to it, and they become reliant, and in their brain they think, I have to have it in order to get a good night's sleep. And so
Mm-hmm.
really important to
Yeah.
if you can retrain your breathing and learn how to change your bone structure and be able to acquire good breathing habits and get the right bone structure and have your bone structure
Mm.
develop, like you're saying. It seems like
Mm.
you can really change your overall health in so many ways. It seems really exciting.
Yeah. We're not meant to be suffering like this, and we can fix it without surgery. We just need to stimulate ourselves to get to our genetic potential with the size of our bones and
Wow.
open up those airways, open up the airways. Yeah, I feel for people who they've just got to have medication to get by, but you're right, they're not getting in REM sleep, so they don't get to repair and heal and detoxify as their body wants to each
Right.
night. So, yeah, this is the answer.
Now you
Open it
have
up.
do you have your book, and do you provide any services to help people, or do you do anything else besides, having authoring books? Is there anything else that you do that you could let the audience know about?
Yeah, thanks. I'm bringing out some products, which is a tongue training device for children to help correct their low tongue posture, and it pushes the tongue up in the mouth so they can practice swallowing correctly. There's also other tools for strengthening the tongue muscle. It's a myofunctional therapy tool. So a lot of people actually have a very weak tongue, and for kids, it just helps them learn how to use it to their
Yeah,
advantage. And there will be these food grade silicon chewing balls for people who are vegan or vegetarian. They might not want to be eating dehydrated meats. They might want to have something they can carry in their purse, use it in the
right.
car, at the
Yeah,
lights, or in the shower, and stimulate their face and give it
yeah,
exercise. Give your face a workout. So
right.
that's all in the pipeline as well to help people have a healthy face.
Yeah. You
And
you could exercise like while you're going to work in your car.
yeah, people do it at their laptop and in the car. I do it in the car. And it's easy. Doesn't take long. Do it for 5 or 10 minutes. It's a
Oh,
great workout. It's a lot of pressure.
oh,
It
that's
helps.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, do you do any
Yeah.
type of coaching right now, or you're not?
At the moment, I don't have the platform, but I'm thinking about a coaching system. I'm not sure how many people are going to be coming and wanting this, but everyone's please feel welcome to get in touch at healthyface.com. Hello at healthyface.com. And yeah, I'll do my best to help people because some people have
Yeah,
more questions. They've got
for
all
sure.
these symptoms that they can't make sense of. So
Yeah.
yeah, I urge people to get in contact. Thank
Wow.
you.
Oh, you're very welcome. This
Mm.
has been amazing.
Thank
Now,
you, Stacey.
before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience that you feel will be beneficial? Any tips or any advice or anything that we haven't gone over?
Oh my goodness, tips and advice. Uh, there's a lot to come. For parents, we just need to be making sure that we're not over reliant on any technology like pacifiers
Mhm.
or like some of our little pouchy foods. I used to love giving my kids those on the go meals,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
some of these things disrupt the child's oral development
Right.
and kind of makes them more susceptible to mouth breathing and these problems. Please, anyone who's pregnant, make sure you have your infant checked for tongue ties. They're a huge problem. They affect 10% of the population.
Oh, wow.
Is having the string under the tongue too tight, and it
Oh,
prevents the child from feeding well, placing the tongue high, developing the face. This, unfortunately, my children suffered with this, and it's a big, long journey trying to overcome tongue
oh,
ties. So
wow.
I need people to be aware of that if you're a
Yeah.
parent. Yeah,
Wow. I didn't know
yep,
that
get
so
onto
many
that.
people suffer from that. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Um, yeah, so I wish everyone well. I think this is an amazing topic. It's a huge revelation, and we just need everyone to know about their options
Yeah.
and get in touch with me if they want advice on treatment plans. What should I do next? Who should I go to? Because
Right.
as a parent, you can get passed around the system and referred off by doctors who don't really understand the underlying cause of your child's health issues or developmental issues. And you spend loads of time and money
Yes.
going and being handed around a system, and it is exhausting for people. It's really
Yes.
exhausting. So as a mum, I've lived this. Get in touch at hello@healthyface.com so I can help you devise a plan that's going to save you so much time and money
Right.
and get your kids on the path of their
Yeah.
highest potential. It's exciting for them.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want people to live their best life.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. My God, this has been great. Thank you so much, Tina, for coming on the show. I love this. And hopefully we'll have you back soon. And I really, you have some really valuable information. And I think just by listening to you talk and share all this knowledge, you really, I think opened up people's eyes because I think people didn't realize, I think a lot of people, when I hear people talk, that's either they think once your genetics, it's your DNA and it's supposed to be like this and that's it, or once you get to a certain age it's too late to really change it. You have to, in order to change it you have to go the surgery or the cosmetic route. And so really you really open people's eyes to realize that just simple little changes in their overall living can actually make some humongous positive changes in their overall health. So that's pretty amazing.
It's so amazing. Thank you so much, Stacey. I'm so
Oh,
grateful I was able to come on the show and chat with you
yes.
today. Yes, it's
Thank
been
you
great to
so
meet
much.
you. Thank you
It's
for
been great.
having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I'm so glad that you came on this show. Thank you. You have a
Thank
great day.
you. You too. All right. Bye,
Bye bye.
Stacey.